Okay, howdy. Today we're going to talk about film textual analysis. Specifically, we're talking about mise en scène. That's mise en scène. So, just to review, film textual analysis is the process by which a film is examined through the lens of sound, cinematography, editing, and composition, also known as mise en scène. Previously, we discussed how to talk about color and how to talk about sound in movies. Literally, we're just figuring out how to read a movie like a book. So what is mise en scène? Mise en scène refers to everything shot before the camera. This is literally everything the viewer sees when watching a movie. This includes set design and use of space, props, actors and how they act, costumes, and lighting. Note, it does not include sound or music or editing. This is just what you see. Literally, talking about mise en scène is the same as talking about a photograph or painting. So, as an example of how to talk about mise en scène, you're going to watch a clip from the super duper fantastic movie Pacific Rim. Literally, it was one of my favorite movies over the summer, and I suggest you guys all go watch the entire thing 48 times. Basically, in it, giant robots called Jaegers defend the Earth from giant alien monsters called kaiju. In this scene, you're going to hear me, the wonderful and fantastic Mr. White, give you an analysis of the mise en scène. Okay, so the first thing I notice is that this set looks a lot like some kind of military base or maybe a submarine. But then, as soon as they go into this suit-up area, it gets really futuristic. I notice a lot of whites and a lot of yellows. The colors kind of stand out against the really dark and almost like, I don't know, old or decaying background. Now this prop, that spine thing, looks a lot like a millipede. It is really creepy. I really like, though, how both of the main actors looks like they're in sync. All their actions are reflected off each other. And now we're starting to see the cockpit, it looks like, of this giant robot. Now when they're coming in, this reminds me of them almost going into a submarine, but then you see these giant, like, harnesses come down, and I don't know, I get the feeling it looks like both an amusement park ride, and at the same time, it looks like they're gonna get electroshock therapy, they're getting strapped in. I don't know, it's very cool. I really like the alternate between the two guys, and it looks like the people at the military base. First, you get to see the different costumes, which really stand out against each other. The two first guys are wearing white, and these other guys are wearing dark blue. Oh wow, and now you see the giant head of the robot. That's insane. Yeah, this reminds me of just some kind of amusement park ride. Everything's going so fast, it's falling, and now that spinning part, it feels the same exact way as when you're going up a roller coaster, very slowly, ready to go down. What this really reminds me of, though, is something like Power Rangers, or one of those giant robot TV shows or movies. I also like how so far we have not been able to see the entire robot in one shot. The robot is literally so big we can only see part of it at a time. I think, yeah, this is actually the first time we've seen the whole thing. Wow.
Gypsy Danger, ready in the line, sir.
Yeah, every time it switches between, looks like the headquarters and actually inside the robot and seeing the robot, it's so jarring because the colors are so different. They stand out so much.
Ready to step into my head, kid? Please, after you. Age before beauty, old man.
Neural handshake initiated.
Okay, now this drift sequence is crazy.
Jaeger tech.
I really like the visual effects they use on the side to show you that we're now in their mind.
Through memories with the body of a giant machine.
All the flashing lights really make it seem very alien.
The better you fight.
Very unexpected.
Neural handshake strong and holding.
Honestly, this just feels really, really cool.
Left hemisphere calibrating.
Proof and transmitted.
That's awesome. I almost feel like they're a pair of dancers or something. Each one copying each other.
City of 2 million people. You will not risk those lives for a boat that holds 10. Am I clear?
Yes, sir. Man, it's cold. You know what I'm thinking. I'm in your brain.
I definitely recommend everyone sees this movie.
Here we go. Come on, bro.
Okay, this is just exciting.
Worry about yourself, kiddo.
Seeing them move in sequence, walking through the waves, pushing the waves. I almost get the feeling like they're almost like a battleship. They're ready to go to war.
There are things you can't fight.
This image of them walking through the water, that stands out to me the
Get out of
most.
the way.
That, I think, is the most important image so far. Whenever I think of this movie, I think of just a giant robot walking through the waves. So what did we hear being discussed? I talked about the colors seen and how it helped visibility. I also talked about how the images reminded me of other things, other films, TV shows, or real life. I also talked about how crowded the screen was. By crowded, I mean how much the characters took up of the screen. Basically, were we able to see a lot, or was it obstructed by some things? In a lot of parts, the giant robot obstructed a lot of our vision. I also talked about the excitement I felt by the visuals. And also, momentarily, I talked about the brightness and darkness of the shots. How visible was it? Was I able to see things clearly? So, for practice, I want you to download The Sorcerer's Apprentice from the same website you got this video. I want you to watch the short film and take notes on the mise en scène. I want you to write down 5 sentences describing the mise en scène. This could be as simple as, this scene with the cauldron reminds me of the game Kingdom Hearts because they had the same props. Or you could talk about the colors that stood out, or the costumes that Mickey Mouse wears. Once you're done with these 5 sentences, I want you to show your analysis to the teacher before moving on to the next step. So to reiterate, you're watching The Sorcerer's Apprentice and writing down 5 sentences to describe the mise en scène. Okay, the activity. With one partner, I want you to choose the most interesting, important, cool, or strange image in The Sorcerer's Apprentice. Just like how I did with Pacific Rim, with the idea of the robot walking through the waves. I want you to sketch that image on a piece of poster paper. You should take up the top 2/3 of the poster paper, saving space at the bottom so that you can explain why you picked it, and explain some elements of the mise en scène present in the image. Now you're gonna have until the end of Monday to finish your poster. By the end of Monday, your poster should be hung up in the back of the room, completely done. If you have any questions, feel free to ask Mr. White or to watch this video again. Good luck!